Hello, my name is Pavel Dostal. I work in the SUSE QA maintenance, and today I would like to tell you something about the RancherOS and k3OS. Both systems are very small, but they serve a different purpose. The RancherOS is meant to be running Docker containers, and the k3OS is for running the k3s cluster. The RancherOS is already 5 years old and it has two Docker daemons running. The first daemon is for the system services such as networking, logging, or the console service, and the user Docker daemon is for custom user-defined services. The k3OS is on the other side just 1 year old. It's based on the Alpine Linux, but it has no package manager and it has no Docker command. So the only way how to run custom application is to run those on top of the k3s server. And now let's install the k3OS on top of KVM. The first thing we need is the ISO file and we can download this from GitHub. After we have the file, we can start the installation using the virt install command. The OS type will be of course Linux. We can name it k3OS for example. The virtual machine will have 4 CPUs and 4 gigs of RAM. The system can be running live from the ISO, but let's install it to the virtual drive and let's also connect it to the network. It's also important to say that there will be no graphics adapter, so the system will output to the serial console. And we also need to specify our ISO. After the virtual disk is created, the system is already booting and we see the output. After we are logged in, we can run the installation wizard, of course as a root. Let's install to disk. We don't have any cloud init file. We can use the GitHub for fetching SSH keys. Don't have any Wi-Fi. And this will be server. No custom parameters, so the installation can start. After reboot, we run from our disk, but as there is no password, we should use the SSH to connect. When we are in, we can start to use the kubectl to manage our k3s server. As the k3OS is quite young, I would not recommend it for the production. Also, the multi-node setup and the upgrading process are still under development. There are 3 different ways how to deploy the RancherOS, but for each of those we need to have the cloud init YAML file. We can still use the manual k3OS install command, but there are a lot of cloud image already pre-built for us, and we can also automate the installation. This cloud init YAML file is quite minimal, but for the RancherOS we should define at least the SSH keys and some Docker services which the system will be running for us. On the second demo, I would like to show you how to run folding at home on top of RancherOS. We will again download the ISO from GitHub, but in this case it should be the stable version. After we have the ISO, we can run the virt install command to start the installation. After the live system is booted, we should be already logged in. I will show you the cloud init YAML file once more. In this one, I also define the networking. We can run the installation command, but in this case we need to specify the disk and of course the cloud init YAML file. When the installation is finished, the system will reboot. But after the reboot, there is no output on the serial console. So we should wait a bit and try the SSH. This demo is of course speeded up, but when the system is ready, we should be able to check the Docker daemon for our services. And we should see that we are already computing for the folding at home project. The RancherOS is production ready. It has a rich documentation and a lot of platforms are supported. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. I am Pavel Dostal from SUSE QA Maintenance, and here is my email so you can ask me your questions. Have a good day.